welcome back to the 40-day upload challenge and embracing the race. And I am at one of my favorite, I think this might be the first time I've done one of these out here on the porch, but this is my favorite nice weather spring summertime spot is our porch swing, and you might hear him at some points, but you can't see him. My little dog is here with me. He loves coming out here. When he sees me coming out this particular door, he wants to come with me. He loves to sit on this porch swing, so he's here with me. This is day 30, and the devotion is called Who Are You Competing Against? And I thought this is a really, really good one. She starts with, and also I apologize if the wind chimes are overpowering, but it's a nice little breeze out here, so you might hear those wind chimes. She starts with 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. When they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise. And I was a little confused by whatever translation that was from, but it'll make sense here in a second. So she starts off talking about how there was a race that she ran. It was a 10K. And she finished, and she felt really good about her time, and it was chip time, so you were able to go to a computer and look at your results and compare to everybody else's results. And as she was looking at where she fell with the entirety of the group, where she fell in just her age group, she started to feel kind of down on herself, even though she did her best, because there were people that finished before her. But then she started looking at all the people from other age groups that finished behind her, and she felt a little bit better. Yeah, so she was doing exactly what the title is referencing. She's comparing herself to others. So she says, unless we're the first one to cross the finish line, there will always be someone faster than us. But if we focus on comparing ourselves to others, we'll be left with disappointment. The opposite is true as well. If we compare ourselves with slower runners just to feel better about ourselves, pride oozes out, breeding a false sense of security. That's true. And she goes on to talk about, in real life, this is probably the obvious lesson, that in real life, and especially in this world, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. The media will do that to us, commercials, for anything. It'll be like, wow, these people on TV and all these celebrities, they look fabulous. That is what's considered pretty, or that's what's considered normal. We got to be like that. Or I'm trying to think of other examples. Being parents, or in my case, step-parent, sometimes we have a tendency to look at other families and be like, oh man, those kids are so well behaved. Why can't my kids be like that? Not to say my kids are very well behaved, that's not what I'm referencing, but just in general, as families, we compare ourselves to other families, and we forget that we're not seeing the whole story. We're just seeing in that moment what's happening. But and the opposite of that is what she's talking about, is looking down on others, being like, oh, my kids are so much better than those other kids, or, that type of thing. It's not a fun topic to talk about, to be quite honest, but you got both sides. You shouldn't be looking down on others, but you also shouldn't belittle yourself because of what you see in others, because you never are seeing the whole story. She says, when we stand before God one day, we won't be standing beside anyone else. Each one of us must give an account for the life we've lived. God won't scroll through a list of people and say, look, you should have done better than her. And he won't say, great job, you performed better than these other people. And she kind of closes with how most runners embrace a PR approach in races. And I know that I do, because I'm definitely never going to be the fastest in my age group. I'm really not built to be a runner, like a fast runner. I just run because I love it. And my kids are cross-country runners, and they really do want to compete to be, the number one in, the girls or boys or whatever they're running. But I always try to remind them that, there really is always going to be someone faster than you. And as long as you did your best, if you gave your all in that particular race, no matter what place you came in, you should be proud of the job that you did. And that's definitely how I view myself. I'm competing against myself, and I try to do better than I did the last time. And sometimes I do place. I've never gotten first unless I was the only one in my age group to show up, but which has happened. But I can feel satisfied knowing that I did my best, and doing my best, you know, I'm constantly improving. And so that, with that view, at least in my opinion, it will always be satisfying, whether or not I place first or not. You know, if I did my best, it will be satisfying. And that's the same to say for life. If we're doing our best in this life, we can be satisfied with it. We don't have to have perfect hair. Goodness gracious, my hair is wet. I just got out of the shower like 20 minutes ago. Don't have perfect hair, perfect face. We just have to do our best. Do what God calls us to do. And it's going to be different for every single person. No two people are going to have that same calling from God. All of this is my views anyway. And she closes with, if I can get my pages, she closes with, instead of comparing our lives to others, we focus on making progress with our own struggles. Instead of judging others, we celebrate. Instead of judging others, we embrace humility, thanking God for rescuing us from our previous ways of sin. And when we conquer one area of sin, he takes us further and shows us something else. And I like that last sentence, when we conquer one area of sin, he takes us further and shows us something else. Because being human, we're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that we can improve on. Just like in running, I mean, I don't think there's anyone that's going to just have the perfect run, the perfect race. There will always be something we can improve on. And same is said for our life. Because we're not perfect, there's always going to be something that we can improve on. And God's there to help us with that. And if we're giving him our best, he will be satisfied, is I think my takeaway from this. We give our best to him, he will be satisfied. Because he knows we're not perfect. And it also reminds me of where the verse that is referenced in my name, Wilderness Runner 2:10, Ephesians 2:10, that we are his masterpiece, created for the good works that he planned for us long ago. I love that. We're a masterpiece. God made us. It makes me sad today with a lot of the things that I see, whenever I'm at the school with the kids or on TV, that people don't understand how precious they were created to be. They feel like they have to change all these things about themselves to be something that they think they have to be, if that makes sense. But the Bible says that God knew us before we were in our mother's womb, and how precious that is, and how precious we are as his creation. So just as a reminder, I haven't said it really in any of these, but just always remember that you are a masterpiece. An artist loves. If you have a sculptor or a painter or any of those things, when they create a masterpiece, it is something so precious to them. And that's what we are to God. So the other thing that God is so good at making is a beautiful daylight today. You really can't see everything I can see out here, but I've just got a few fluffy clouds, blue sky. Things are starting to bloom, very green. So it's lovely. And that lovely breeze that's causing those wind chimes to make all that noise. So I hope everyone is doing good today and that you're having a great day. And I will see you tomorrow.